Yeah, Taoiseach, I mean, it's pretty clear that the government are using this appalling war, which we all condemn, launched by Putin in Ukraine, to move us ever closer to NATO. I mean, I raised last week, I still haven't heard an explanation, why there were NATO assessors assessing Irish troops in County Cork in the last couple of weeks, headed up by a US naval military commander. Now, this follows on from our participation in the Ukraine Defence Contact Group, which, according to the US Secretary of Defence, is part of NATO. First meeting held on a NATO base in Germany. So it's absolutely clear the Irish government are disregarding this country's neutrality and the commitment of the majority of people in this country to neutrality to align ourselves with NATO, now to the extent that we have NATO commanders assessing our troops in County Cork.
I mean, first of all, I do take exception to Deputy Murphy's, Deputy Boyd Barrett and Deputy Barry's assertions that somehow the war is being used by the government as an excuse to join NATO and to work with NATO. I think it's a fairly sick allegation to make. I mean, this was an unprovoked war by Russia on Ukraine that nobody wanted, that many countries who were members of NATO spoke to Putin and asked him to stop and not to do it, including President Macron, including Chancellor Scholz. And I don't know why you're so anti-Ukraine, but you are anti-Ukraine. I mean, it's very clear that I am answering. This is how I'm answering the question, Deputy Barry. I'm answering your question if you'll leave me, but you don't like what I'm saying. I mean, you boycotted the minute silence on the Holodomor. All of you deliberately boycotted that event today. And I want to say to you that in respect of the allegations that you have made, this country is not a member of NATO. We have never. I'm answering the question, Deputy. We've never participated in any military campaign with NATO. But what we have done, I don't know. I wasn't up in Kilworth eavesdropping on what they were going, but I was in Lebanon. And who were we with in Lebanon? Who were we, through the chair? Who were we with in Lebanon through the chair? But Ireland was with the Polish army. And what were we doing in Poland? We're peacekeeping with Poland. We peacekeep with other countries who are members of the United Nations. And there has to be interoperability. And I presume that any work that we do with other troops is interoperability in respect to peacekeeping missions that the Irish Army is engaged in. And it is a complete untruth that you are asserting, Deputy, that you are asserting. And every time it comes to Ukraine, and every other deputy in this House today, every other deputy in this House, including Deputy Crowe, I'm to deal with Deputy Crowe's issue, which Deputy Crowe, I will. Deputy Crowe put down a question as well. But what is in stark contrast, every time there is a debate on Ukraine...
Please, thank you.
Every time there's a debate on Ukraine...
Just for a minute. There are at least 4 questions to be responded to. We're way over time. We're out of time, so I would just ask you to deal with those.
I just want to say, every time there's a question in Ukraine, especially to do with refugees, to do with humanitarian, the 3 deputies opposite bring it back to NATO, bring it back to the Russian argument. And it's the same argument used by Russia last week when it named a lot of Irish politicians on their list. You guys are acting like puppets for Putin's regime. It's a disgrace what you're at. And I've watched it now for months. And that's all you do. You're puppets for the Putin regime.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. True, could we do this? Deputies, please. Thank you. The Taoiseach has finished his questions.
I was going to answer. He said it just 2 minutes ago. Taoiseach, can you guarantee they're just doing demining training?
Deputies, could we have just a tiny smidgen of respect to Taoiseach? No, we're not. Deputy Crowe, please, thank you. Can we have a little bit of respect? I'm moving on.